What is going on, everyone? I am the YuGiOh Scrub, but you can call me Bailey, and I'm a little bit heated because I was looking for the comment Spliska91. Banisher Light would be pretty interesting to base a deck around. Well, I agree with you. So I'm doing that today. There were also some other people. I can't find the comments. I apologize. I don't save them all as I see them. I usually go looking when I make the deck. I do have a list next to me of the suggestions people put, but you also wanted to see a Grenmaju deck, and so, of course, if you're going to be banishing with Banisher of the Light, you're going to also be using Grenmaju to Isaac, because this card can get beefy. But I'm a little bit mad, because I saw someone comment that blue goat is not the best goat. And, you know, red and orange goats, pretty cool, but blue goat will forever be the goat. I can't even find my other goat token right now. I think it's a bookmark somewhere. I do treat them well. You know, they need to be loved. They need to be used. Which is why I often use my cards as bookmarks, because I don't really play with them too much. But, you know, I cherish them. You know, they're still in very good condition. I've never left the sleeve in absolutely years. But the deck, of course, Banisher of the Light, Grenmaju. The idea is basically put Banisher on the field, protect it with Triple Judgment, Widespread Ruin, and Triple Sakuretsu Armor. Just, you know, make sure that it can't get run over in battle, because I want to summon this monster. I know you can set it, but then you have to rely on your opponent to attack into it, thinking it's something, and then it can be Nobleman. The idea is we want to flip it, eventually change it to defense, but just have my opponent be crippled because they are banishing everything. Meanwhile, we go ahead and just, you know, flip our spies, do our thing. Also, spy is good because it can act as another wall. If it gets Nobleman, that just fuels our Grenmaju to Isa. It's a dark. The other darks were pretty light. On the darks, we have the Breaker, Triple Spy, but also 1,000 dies restrict, because if we can put Banisher with 1,000 dies on the board, that could be pretty hard for your opponent to get through. You know, they're going to have to banish a lot of cards with Banisher of the Light on the field just to get through it all. And yeah, maybe by the time you get through, you've had a Torrential, Mirror Force, or something to kind of stop them. I don't know how great this deck's going to go, but we're going to see it as the default. Let's go and join the GOAT format ladder. And click this button for your viewing pleasure. And hope that you're having a fantastic day. If you're not having a fantastic day, we'll go and make it a fantastic day and then return to my video and every other video. I have almost 200 videos now, which is kind of crazy. I've been posting frequently since last October, but before then, there were a few years ago, I was posting a lot, then kind of stopped. So, opening hand looks pretty good. Scapegoat, Pot of Greed, BLS, Grenmaju to Isa, Gravekeeper, Spy, and Solemn Judgment. I know it's silly. I think I'm going to set the Spy and maybe the Scapegoat. Yeah, we'll set Spy and Scapegoat. If it gets Nobleman, I'm fine, but I also want to potentially get the other Spy on the board to deck thin, and then I can Pot of Greed. Not committing the Judgment to the board because I think that's a little bit much. Give him a thumbs up to get through standby phase. He summons Blade Knight. So Blade Knight will not be able to get over the Spy. Spy will special summon a second Spy. Exactly what I wanted, thinning my deck of 1. The odds that I drew 2 were obviously very low, but now it's almost impossible. And we do get Trap Dust Shooted here. So he knows our hand and he's seeing the Grenmaju. If we did the Grenmaju, he'd probably assume we were on something much more standard, because our hand does look very standard, but he will probably be able to predict that we are on some sort of banish crap. So he gets rid of our DD Warrior Lady. We'll go ahead and activate Pot of Greed, getting Torrential Tribute and a Metamorphosis. I feel fine just sitting on these spies. I don't think I have to do anything at the moment. There's a Delinquent Duo that he rips. We'll get rid of a Grenmaju. We have others. And at the moment, it's doing nothing. but these spies are protecting our life points with these beefy 2000 defense walls. He does set a monster. We draw MST. We'll set the MST and just end. Make him think that it's the Judgment. The cards he doesn't know about are Torrential and MST and Scapegoat. He summons an Exiled. Pops one of the spies with Exiled. We draw a Sakuretsu Armor, which is a great card. Okay, I mean, I'll show him. Just to prove, because I did shuffle my hand, but he was... I mean, if you're going to run drop-off, I feel like you need to go very, very fast, but no big deal. The log is a great addition to the format. Well, and because of that, I don't even feel like I need to set the Sakuretsu Armor. I can just... Or set the Judgment, I mean. I was thinking of setting Sakuretsu, setting Judgment to protect ourselves from Heavy Storm. That's fine. So he's running Hand Control Warriors. MST is going to be good if he tries to Premature Burial back the Exiled Force to get through this Gravekeeper Spy. There's a YuGiOh. Calls heads. Hopefully he has to pay half his life points. Nope. And we will take... And we'll use Scapegoats. I don't know why I was clicking the token button. We draw a Jar of Greed. We'll set Jar, set Torrential, and we will set the Judgment just in case. If that is somehow a face-down Heavy Storm, we obviously need to make sure that that doesn't go through. Flips DD Assailant. That is fine. Thinking about if he wants to attack. He does choose to attack with YuGiOh, calling heads again. I mean, that's 3,300 potential damage. 3,300 damage to get rid of a Scapegoat token. I will take that trade every single day. Let's Jar of Greed. In end phase, we draw Graceful Charity. I don't think we need to MST that newly set back row. We draw Nobleman to cross out. Good draw because we can Graceful discard it. We will activate Graceful Charity. Drawing Grenmaju, Mirror Force, and Jar of Greed. Definitely getting rid of Nobleman. Getting rid of the other Grenmaju because we just don't need it. Setting Mirror Force, setting Jar of Greed, ending our turn. Standby is fine. Obviously, we're going to Mirror Force if he summons. I'd love if he summons so we can Torrential Tribute. But I don't know if he's going to do that. He changes smartly the DD Assailant to defense, and we get rid of 2 monsters with a Mirror Force. We still get the plus. We draw another Jar of Greed. We will activate this Jar of Greed. Drawing Snatch Steal. I mean, this is a fantastic... DD Assailant or DD Warrior Lady are some of the best things to Snatch Steal. I'm gonna Judgment the activation of Compulse. Well, MST the Call of the Haunted. And he compulses back his DD Assailant. Main phase 2, we have no lights engraved, just darks. We're going to Torrential Tribute. Hopefully he doesn't have Premature Burial. We draw Sakuretsu Armor. We will Jar of Greed. We draw Breaker. Fantastic draw. We Breaker the Bluff Set Nobleman. We'll set Sakuretsu Armor and end. Summons Jirai Gumo. And we will Sakuretsu Armor. Sets a back row. We draw Widespread Ruin. I mean, these are great. Now we can just basically solidify this dub here. Unless this back row was for real. So now he's at 100 life points. Premature is dead. Ring of Destruction is basically dead. And yeah. And if he had a monster to get over the Breaker, we could just Widespread Ruin it. So, good cards in this matchup. I think we can take out the BLS. BLS is good. He's setting a lot of his hand, so we can take out the Morphing Jar. Take out the Noblemans. I do think we can take out a BLS and is a Banisher. Maybe one Grand Maju. Put in. I like the Scapegoat meta. Maybe a Mobius. Do I do 2 Mobius or 1 Mobius, 1 Zaborg? I think 1 Mobius, 1 Zaborg. Or do I do... What are my monsters? I'm taking out 2 monsters. But one of them's a special summoning monster. It is kind of a boss card. I think if we are sitting on our walls... I think this is fine. I think that Zaborg is a little bit of a win more card. The side deck I didn't give too much thought to, but opening the hand, it looks pretty good. Gravekeeper, Spy, Sakuretsu Armor, Solemn, Jar of Greed, Scapegoat. Widespread Ruin, okay. So, he gets rid of our Gravekeeper Spy with Trap Dust Shoot, but we have Scapegoat, Sock, Solemn, Jar, Widespread. I think we'll just set 5. We'll set Widespread, Jar, Solemn, Sakuretsu, Scapegoat. He summons Blade Knight. That's fine. I think we'll Sakuretsu Armor the Blade Knight. And I will Scapegoats, because if he wants to do 4,000 damage to himself to get rid of a token, that's fine by me. And if I keep this on the board and I draw a Metamorphosis, Time Seal, okay. Let's go ahead and Jar of Greed. We draw Mobius. Fine by me. We'll just go to end. I do think Time Seal's a somewhat underrated card. I really like it. A second Time Seal. No attack, though. Back to auto draw. We have Judgment. We'll end our turn again. Interesting, so Trap Dust Shoot, Time Seal, Drop Off Warriors. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's great. I think Time Seal's better than Drop Off because you can chain it. He uses Call of the Haunted. That is fine. I don't think using Solemn on a call is the right play. Blade Knight is 2,000. We'll let one token go. And hopefully he attacks with YuGiOh. That's fine. So he takes 4,000 damage to get rid of a token. I do think YuGiOh is good, but I think it was smarter of him to do what he was doing before and not be attacking. Unfortunately, though, we really could use a Metamorphosis here. We'll get rid of one token, and we will Widespread Ruin the YuGiOh here. We draw Pot of Greed. Let's go ahead and activate Jar of Greed. Get Banisher of the Light. I like that draw. We'll then activate the Pot of Greed. Does he want me to shuffle? Yep. Okay, no worries. So we will not be drawing the Widespread Ruin. And I'm fine keeping my Judgment. If he has a Nobleman, I'd much rather a Judgment than Nobleman. And keep my life points and everything safe. Here we go. Exactly what I needed. So he does unfortunately have another Nobleman to get rid of the Banisher. So he just happened to have both Noblemans. But if we draw a Heavy Storm, that would get rid of the Blade Knight. Spy would be good. We draw Delinquent Duo. We'll set the Duo. We really just need a Heavy Storm or a Spy, a Banisher. Something along those lines. We'll take 2,000 from a direct attack of Blade Knight. Come on, heart of the cards, heart of the cards, heart of the cards. Widespread Ruin will potentially keep us alive, depending on his draw here. Okay, well, he has double Dust and MST. Getting rid of our monsters. I think Karibo's not too good. I do like what we have. I think we just got relatively unlucky with the order we drew things in. Maybe one dust over. I know I like the Jar of Greeds because he was running the time seals. He's setting too much of his hand to make Morphing Jar good. Mind Control's just bad. I think Dust Tornadoes would be the only thing I could consider putting in. But I don't know exactly what I'd want it over. Going first, I think Duo's good. I like our Battle Traps more. You could argue BLS because we just don't have many lights. We really only have the DD Warrior Lady, which is almost always getting banished. And the Banisher banishes things, but when it dies by battle, it would not be sent to the graveyard. Or died by, like, Exiled Force Effect. It can get banished via Nobleman, but that's if we have it set. And I think the 2000 defense is much better than one Spell Trap Destruction, especially when he has Time Seals and things along those lines. Maybe actually taking the Mobius out. Okay, I was about to say, with all those chainable traps, maybe the Mobius isn't the way to go, but I couldn't get to it. Alright, opening hand looks really solid. We have Heavy Storm, Pot of Greed, Judgment, Mobius, Widespread Ruin, Banisher of the Light. I mean, we're always going to be summoning Banisher first, and then we'll activate Pot of Greed, drawing Breaker, Gren Maju, and we will banish the Pot of Greed. And I think we'll set Widespread and Heavy. This is kind of aggressive, not setting the Judgment, but I'm really hoping that he summons one monster, tries to attack the Banisher of the Light. We Widespread Ruin that monster. He sets a couple of back row, and then we can Heavy, and we get more cards into the banished pile that will then be fueling Gren Maju. And keep our Judgment for later turns where it could be a little bit more impactful on protecting that Gren Maju. But right now, the name of the game is getting cards banished for the Gren Maju. Especially once it is big enough, none of his monsters can really get over it, and that'll be devastating for him. We are going to Widespread Ruin. So he's already at 800. These also get banished. He sets a back row and ends. We draw a Sakuretsu Armor. He can look at our hand. I don't know what he's going to take exactly. Probably Breaker or Gren. But the Sakuretsu Armor draw. Oh, Mobius. I'm actually confused. Yeah, he said Mobius. Because he... Okay. Because he typed out my hand. We will put Breaker on the field, change this to defense, attack for 19, set Judgment, set Sakuretsu Armor. If he has Snatch Steal, we can Judgment the Snatch Steal. We will Judgment. Sakuretsu Armor protects Breaker from anything. We draw another Banisher of the Light. I think we'll try to attack with Breaker and just see what information we can get. It's a DD Warrior Lady. I think we'll set the other Banisher of the Light. And now Grenmaju is a 2000 attacker. 2400 attacker. He's just making it more and more powerful. We draw a Jar of Greed. This is banished. We will summon Grenmaju. 7 times 4. 2800. Try to attack. Jar of Greed also is good because it can bait stuff. It's all good. Not a card you see often. We draw Scapegoat. We'll activate Jar of Greed. Make this 3200. Attack. And I don't even think we set the Scapegoat. I think we can just end. But now we just have these giant normal summons. Draw Gravekeeper, Spy. Swing. Compulse. I think we just take this opportunity to set the Gravekeeper Spy. Nobleman. Perfect. I mean, he's just making that Grenmaju even bigger. To the point where if he's to summon any monster, I mean, what does he get here? Probably DD Assailant. Okay. We draw Sakuretsu Armor. We'll set the sock. And, I mean, this is going to be 4400 when it hits the field. We draw Delinquent Duo. We'll end our turn. Doesn't matter to me. He has Pot of Greed. Drawing a couple of cards. Sets a few. Summons Swift Gaia. Summons DD Assailant. We will Sakuretsu Armor the Swift Gaia. He Solemns. He has to pay half his life points. He has to pay cost to Solemn. And did he just set that? I don't think so. Yeah, set 2 to 3, and we'll take 1700. He uses Graceful Charity. Discarding Blade Knight and Blade Knight. Setting another back row, we draw Mirror Force. And we'll see if he scoops because he sees the other Grenmaju. make it 4,800. Try to attack the Swift Gaia. Mirror Force, okay. We'll set Mirror Force, set Scapegoat, set Duo. Obviously, gonna summon some tokens. Metamorphosis here is a great draw. We draw another Grenmaju. Let me just make sure. Did I shuffle? Didn't shuffle. We draw Torrential Tribute. We'll set Torrential, end our turn. We'll take another token out. Time Seal. A-okay. Sets a back row. End our turn. We will Mirror Force. We draw a Jar of Greed. Drops off the Jar of Greed. We have 3 Metamorphoses. We have a 1 in 7 chance. I feel like we haven't seen any. We have 1 Scapegoat. So we have 2 more Scapegoats left. Come on. Metamorphosis. Okay, I mean, I'll take another Scapegoat. The new set. Okay, yep, new set. Hits the Scapegoat. We will Torrential Tribute. When he summons the Exiled Force, we draw Grenmaju. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is it. He Torrential Tributes. What a match this is turning out to be. We draw Mobius. That's a dead draw. If it was Dust Tornado, I don't think it'd be much better. Oh my goodness. Ring of Destruction. This is... Wow. Going to a game 4. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be recording another match after this one. This is just pretty intense. We're going to take out Mobius for a Dust Tornado. Do we take out anything else for another Dust? I don't think we do. How does this work? I don't know if we do a coin flip or not. I like the Dust Tornado more than Delinquent Duo. He's also going to be setting a lot of his hand, so a Duo is so much more likely to be a dead draw. I mean, you saw it in that game, where it was just a dead draw later on, because he constantly only had 1 card in his hand. I kept waiting for him to have 2, and he just never did, so I think that keeping the dead Duo in is much worse. He sets 5 back row and ends his turn. We draw a Jar of Greed. I think the play here is going to be, do we set Spy? I think we set Spy, set Jar of Greed, set Scapegoat. And please, no. Don't make it this. I think he's probably just resetting. Okay, because he probably couldn't target, so he was doing that. Okay. Jar for dust. Fine trade by me. I'll take that. Nobleman of Crossout. I almost want this to get Nobleman. I'm fine with that. He doesn't attack. We will Scapegoat in the end phase. We draw another Banisher of the Light. We'll Metamorphosis. Alright, he compulses. We'll set Banisher. We'll set the Judgment. I'm fine with that. Also fine with him attacking a token first. Alright, he pops Banisher with Exiled. We draw Torrential Tribute. We'll set another Banisher. Summons DD Warrior Lady. He's probably going to banish. Yeah, should minus 500 first before he potentially has to pay half. Yep, the Jiraigumo is okay. He calls heads. It is tails. He will take 3750 life points. We draw Premature Burial. I think we can just end our turn. Another Metamorphosis would be good. He sets another back row, summons Swift Gaia. That's fine. He gets rid of our tokens. Does he summon with the Jurai? Calls heads. It is heads. We will summon a spy. We draw another Gravekeeper spy. We'll set Torrential. Set the spy, because we need more defense. He activates a Rhoda. Maybe Mystics. He gets a Blade Knight. Okay. We will Torrential Tribute. He is a Solemn. We will Solemn his Solemn. And he Solemns our Solemn. So he does have to pay life points. So 3750 halved is what? Let's do some quick math on my calculator. So he's at 937. He does know the thing. 937 life points. But we don't lose. He calls heads. It is tails. We're taking that first one. 469. We'll take 15 and 2,000. Come on, Mirror Force or something crazy. Dust Tornado's not gonna do it. So unfortunate. But super close game. This last match didn't feel quite as close, but it was good. The Juraigumos are nice. Having the 2,000 attacker is good. He switches a couple monsters to defense position. And just out of curiosity. GG's. Next draw was BLS. That's unfortunate. Okay, he had the Sakuretsu, but I could have put it up. Would have been able to leave it on board. We had some banger draws coming up. Unfortunate, but that's how it goes. And the Mirror Force, like, we would have been able to get to that Mirror Force. We would have been really good had we not drawn a dust and drew that BLS instead. But it is what it is. I think that was a pretty incredible match, if you ask me, to be honest. I think that was really, really fun. Solid back and forth. That one game where we had the Banisher just sitting on the board, banishing everything and fueling up those giant Grenmaju to Aizas. That was good. So if you guys like this video, leave a like. Wish it could be more matches, but sometimes it's just how it goes. We got a 4-game match. Doesn't happen every day, but thank you for watching. I am the YuGiOh Scrub, and goodbye.